Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Changeling in Grove or Green, Episode 4. I am John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films, and I turn it over to our storyteller for the evening, Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm the storyteller for In Grove or Green, our Changeling the Lost Chronicle set in the city of Baltimore. And to introduce you to our cast of characters, we will start going around the room, starting with Erin.
Hi, I'm Erin, and I'll be playing Gail, the Ferris dancer, flowering.
Very much so. And Raphael.
I'm trying to grammar that still.
Raphael, you're muted.
Raphael, can you hear
Hi,
us?
I'm Raphael, and I'm going to be playing Neofly, the Darkling Night Singer.
And John.
I'm John, and I'm playing Nerophyrus, the Elemental Fireheart.
William.
I'm William, and I'm playing Phaedra Flanagan, Ogre Gristlegrinder.
Holly.
Hi, I'm Holly, and I'm playing Lark, Beast Windwing.
Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy, and I'm playing Adele, the Darkling Gravewhite.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Liz, Wizened Oracle.
Absolutely. So, let's once again return to the scene of Baltimore as the radio kicks on one more time. Welcome back to Radio Free Faye and the tones of your ever-loving friend, DJ Utzel. Today we're going to talk a little bit about quid pro quo, the favor for a favor. Shockingly enough, many of us don't trade in what the mundanes might consider normal currencies, part of the reason being that it makes you easier to tail or to track. So to get what you need and stay out of the echoes, we all need to master the art of the trade, as that Washington Heights minstrel likes to tell us. When you got skin in the game, you stay in the game, but you don't get a win unless you play in the game. But have a care when negotiating. Try to be sure to know all the players, because the last thing you want is to owe any fairy favors. And you guys had just purchased a number of wardrobe items to add to your attire collections. And you're standing outside one of the shopping mall areas in Baltimore, just a little north of the Inner Harbor, with a couple of objectives on your to-do list. They had mentioned, the Haunted Waters Motley members had mentioned being able to talk to somebody named War Dancer down by Fort McHenry, apparently a summer courtier of some influence if you're needing to get gear of any sort. If you're looking for new identities, there's a guy by the name of Ledger. Not much background on him, but apparently he can handle falsifying or generating papers for people in need.
It's
So, just in
And
case...
I wanted supplies.
And yes, Liz definitely had mentioned wanting supplies. She was non-specific as to what.
Yes. I need to go to an art store or something. Craft show. Somewhere. I need things.
Right now, I think we're heading to Ledger.
Yeah,
Okay.
just in case someone decides they
Okay.
want to pull you guys over.
Yeah, we should definitely get that
yes.
That's
True.
Okay.
I believe that was the plan. Yes.
Adele, give me
Yes.
an intelligence and streetwise. I'll give you a +1 on this. Given your background.
Streetwise- Oh, those are already selected for me on the sheet. Isn't that nice?
Almost like that's something you roll.
So that would be one success.
Okay. You think you remember that Ledger's offices are somewhere up 83?
Okay.
You're pretty sure you can find it. It might
Okay.
take a little bit of driving around, but you're pretty sure it's kind of Mount Washington Central Park area.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So everybody in the car, let's go. Cars and
Smokers,
Start heading
smokers
in that
the smoking
direction.
car, non-smokers
Smokers in the smoking car. Yep.
All right, but you jump on the interstate and you drive north. It only takes you about 10 or 15 minutes before you jump off an exit at roughly the area that you're pretty sure he's located. But you get off on Northern Parkway, start heading west a little bit. You can drive around the the neighborhoods, hit some of the back areas, and then you find what looks like something that triggers your memory. There's a kind of a strip mall area and a very sort of low rent, rundown looking storefront for a real estate company. And you're pretty sure this is the place.
Okay. Pull up. Get out and drift on over to there.
Okay. Given that it's about 3 p.m. right now, they are still open.
Mm-hmm.
And very little signage, however. There's like all the necessary little like license decals of, certified by the Better Business Bureau and yada, yada, yada. But it's, there's not any sort of pristinely arranged or prominently displayed signage to indicate business name or, what sort of real estate they specialize in, or it looks very nondescript, almost cultivated in that sense of you'll just drift by and not even give it a look unless you're specifically looking for it.
Right.
But as you push open the door, there's a little jingle of a bell, and a girl probably early 20s or so, very little makeup or anything, just dressed fairly like in business casual, but heavy on the casual, light on the business. Glances up as you come in. Yes, what can I help you with?
And clearly normal girl.
Very clearly.
Okay. Have I actually met Ledger?
You have not personally.
Okay.
Your papers were handled by proxy.
Yes. Yes. I don't know. Is everybody else coming? Did everybody else come with, or are they waiting in the car?
Everybody else?
I would have come in with.
Same.
I came
I would
with.
want to come with.
Okay. Do you know what Ledger's like mundane name is supposed to be, or is he just called Ledger?
Well,
on the way in, I would have been looking for like signage on this building. See, like anything that has like a proper name.
Give me a wits and investigation -4.
One success.
You do see, as you walk in, there's absolutely nothing as far as signage is concerned. There's no business name. There's no. I mean, you can tell that it's a business based on some of the decals in the window, but as far as what they do or anything from the exterior, it's practically a blank slate.
Okay.
But in a very unobtrusive sort of way. It's not like there's scars where a sign was removed from the structure or anything. As you step inside, you can definitely see that there's kind of a real estate vibe to it. There's the necessary paperwork and brochures and things. Some very sort of bland and benign office decor on the walls. The one thing that you do manage to notice is a license, a business license, kind of set a little ways behind where this girl is sitting. And you can just barely make out an H. Samuels as one of the name, the most prominently displayed signature towards the bottom where the proprietor's information usually would go.
And this girl doesn't look like a changeling, correct?
No.
correct.
All right. Does it look like? Sorry. Also, for everybody watching, Aaron has to restart their computer, so that's why everything got messed up. They're going to be back in a minute, so I'm not going to change everything mid scramble. Is Adele? Does it look like Adele is trying to think of a name, or did Adele just hasn't spoken?
No.
Yet?
No, she just hasn't spoken yet. I was just making see if I had been going in by myself or with everybody else,
Okay.
basically.
Yep.
Adele talk then.
You sort of pause in the doorway. I'm
Okay.
apparently.
So
So-
Liz is paused in the doorway. Adele
Uh-huh.
and Nero are both inside.
Neo's
Lark's-
right behind Nero, and
Okay, Neo's inside as well then. Lark, are you staying in the vehicle or coming along with?
She had to leave.
Oh, she had to step
Nope.
away as well. Okay.
ERB. Yep.
Yep.
Sounds good.
I'm stepping back outside because
We'll say
there's
then
a lot of people in
that
this
that
small
Gale and Lark are holding down automobile
Right.
duty, and the rest of you are either inside or just outside the door. Good.
So Adele smiles at the girl. Walks up. Hello. We are looking to get. We have some people who require some identification paperwork.
Give me a manipulation and persuasion -2.
Manipulation, persuasion. -2. 1 success.
Okay. The girl kind of tilts her head a little bit. What's going on? I don't know. We generally do. I'm sorry. You needed what again?
I sort of tap Adele on the elbow. We were looking for Samuels, right?
Well, if you're looking for Mr. Samuels, he doesn't do anything with identification. I mean, are you guys? Are you trying to get licensed as agents?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I mean that's usually handled through the city offices, but I mean, well, I'll see if he can maybe he's got some of the forms. I don't. She seems to be very taken aback by this crowd of people who's come in and asking her for something that is definitely not part of her duties. And she stands up and sort of sidles back. Like you get the feeling that normally she would have stood up, turned around, and walked away, but she's sort of trying to keep an eye on you guys as well as see where she's going. And she is very, very uncomfortable right now.
Meh. Adele doesn't seem worried about her comfort or lack thereof.
Right? Yeah, no, I mean, that's probably not one of her primary concerns. But she raps on a door a little ways down the hall, and then pushes it slightly open. Surprisingly small opening, and murmurs a few words to somebody apparently who's inside, and then gives a nod and kind of glances at you guys, and then shrugs, whispers something else, and then comes back. Well, Mr. Samuels is a little busy right now, but if you don't mind waiting for a moment, he said he'd probably be able to speak with you in the next 10, 15 minutes.
Wonderful.
Go ahead and have a seat. And she gestures once again off to the side and slightly uncomfortably because there are exactly 2 chairs.
I'll go outside. Fresh air. I head outside.
Okay.
I step out of the doorway.
And
close.
she sits down and very intently focuses on whatever papers and things she is working on with her computer, desperately trying not to stare at this motley crew that just swaned in.
Adele actually chooses to remain standing near the desk.
Okay.
I go sit down.
Are you just standing near the desk, or are you attempting to project or affect this young lady in any specific way?
I mean, not in any overt way.
Mhm.
Just knowing that she's going to be uncomfortable enough by the fact that that I'm standing there.
Okay.
I am not looking directly at her or anything like that.
Okay.
Just that's where I choose to stand for the next
You're just standing there to bug her.
Yes, absolutely. To unnerve her.
All right. In that case, go ahead and roll me a manipulation and intimidation.
All right.
I'll give you a +1 on this.
Oh, good. That'll balance out the -1.
Okay.
Abilities, I forgot to take. If it will click, there we go. Well, there's one.
Okay. So the unease and concern and paranoia are rolling off this girl in waves. You can glean a glamour point off of her
Sweet.
if you'd like for this.
And sort of seeing what Adele is doing, I have a question out of game,
Yeah.
and I don't know if he would know this or not. But is it possible for multiple people to gain glamour from different emotions off the same person?
Nope.
Okay.
Generally, it's a single focused interaction between a changeling and a mortal, or
Okay.
a changeling and a group of mortals.
So, like, you can't have like somebody freak somebody out, and somebody else comes in and calms them down, and they both.
I thought
get glamour off
there
that.
was like a specific rule for like trying to pile onto someone else's harvest that just makes it less efficient for all of you.
Yeah, there are rules in the book on that. I ignore them and do my own thing.
That's fine.
Aaron, if you tried to say something, you were muted. We couldn't hear you.
That is the acceptable answer.
So, quick question. Since I'm currently full up anyways, can I use that one to fuel my Grave White ability to see ghosts in the area?
Sure.
Okay. Not that she's certain there is. She's just curious. She's
Right.
always looking for new friends.
Yes, absolutely. So go ahead and roll me a.
Well, it's
just a point
if I
of
use
glamour,
my
you can see it
seeming
for the
ability
next
for
scene.
it.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I have
yeah,
two
no
different
roll
ways I
necessary.
can do it.
You have all the ghost dar.
Yes, I do.
So much Ghost Radar.
Right. So yeah, you feel that coming in, and since you're kind of topped off, you just consume it right away, and sort of peel back that non-existent third eyelid of yours, and glance around. The area is actually surprisingly like you've been in areas where there aren't any real ghosts around, but there's the occasional like spirit of an animal at least or something like that'll drift through. This place is bare. Like hospital room sterile as far as ghosts are concerned.
So she just gives a disappointing sort of cluck and sighs and
It kind of
stays
makes the girl jump
where
slightly
she is.
again.
So
But a little time passes, and eventually there's a flash on the desk phone that the girl's looking at, and she looks at it, presses a button, and stands up. If you can follow me, I'll take you back to the conference room.
I will stand up
And she'll
follow.
turn and walk away.
Following.
Yes.
All right. So who's following?
I am.
Adele, Lark, Nero,
And Phage.
Phage? Anybody else?
No.
Neo.
Okay. So Gail, you were waiting in the car while everybody went into
Alright.
this basically
That-
nondescript apparent business front of some sort
Mm-hmm.
with very, very few identifying features to it. But as you guys go in, she'll lead you back down the hall towards past that office door that she had cracked open, around a corner, and then indicate a door to the left-hand side. Mr. Samuels said he would speak with you in here.
Walk in.
Okay. So Nero, as you go in, and there is a long folding table and a number of those sort of stackable plastic with metal leg chairs kind of scattered around it. At the far end, there's an individual sitting. He has black hair combed straight back, very, very slicked kind of haircut. He's wearing a shirt with a tie. There's a name pin on the left-hand lapel of his sport coat that just says H. Samuels. He's got both hands sort of clasped in front of him, laid on the table, with a pen cinched in the pocket behind the pin. He's wearing just a white shirt underneath with a black tie, and sort of just nods to you and gestures to a seat as you come in. Looks very, very normal.
So it doesn't look like a changeling.
Doesn't really look like a changeling, no.
Mr. Samuels, I'll say as I come in and sit down.
Yes. Well, have a seat and close the door behind you.
I assume that whoever's coming in last will close the door.
All right. So how many people
Yes,
are
I'm
how many
following.
people are coming in?
I'm coming in.
I am.
All right. So 6 of you enter the room, sit down. Phage coming in last. You close the door behind you.
Yep.
And as you do so, you see his eyes just widen. Initially, it's simply like, yes, Nero, go.
5 of us. I think Gale and Liz are both still outside.
Liz, are you still outside, or did you go in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. 5 of them.
Actually, I was going around the back. But
Oh, okay.
because
Gale
that's how
is
you go
still
and
in
talk
the
to people.
car.
Gale is still in
You
the
go
car.
around the back and you knock on a back door, and that's how you get food. So that's her strategy.
Okay. So his eyes widen, and initially it's first just the impression of someone opening their eyes beyond their normal resting expression. But then the lids continue to peel back, and the eyes themselves swell in size somewhat. Until they're probably about the size of a silver dollar each. And the mouth broadens just fractionally without changing expression. Normally you'd say that was a smile, but it's still very much a flat kind of deportment. Oh, brothers, sisters, others, what can I help you with?
I look over at Adele.
You are muted, Jeremy. Jeremy is right.
There we go.
Okay.
I had to beat my headphones into submission.
You do.
Because it wasn't listed as muted. I look back at you and say, I got you here.
We apparently are in need of identification.
Indeed. All 4 of you.
There are 6 of
And
us.
2 more. Excuse me.
6.
And she will drift away and go find the other 2.
Okay. So, Liz, you are headed around the back.
Yeah.
It's a strip mall kind of area, so you have to walk all the way down the fronts of several businesses, and then you take a loop around. There's a couple of concrete posts. There's chain link and a back alley with 3 or 4 dumpsters spaced more or less evenly-ish. Couple of back doors. They look fairly sturdy.
All right. And no one's outside. It's not like lunchtime. No one's sitting outside in the back.
No.
No. Okay.
Pretty much a vacant alley with a couple dumpsters in it.
What's in the dumpsters? I'm looking.
Give me a wits and investigation. Are you looking for anything in particular?
No. I'm seeing what's there. I'm still on the hunt for things that I can use to craft because that is her focus right now. So that's kind of, and no modifiers.
No,
One
no modifiers. You find a couple of empty drink cans. There's a couple bags of garbage. There's some shredded paperwork. And you find the only really interesting thing you find is a claw hammer, pretty rusted.
Ooh.
And the handle is definitely on its last legs.
Ooh. Well, I'm taking that.
Okay. Nobody else seems to be using it currently.
Yeah,
also,
no.
whose ceiling fan is squeaking?
That would be Williams.
Probably mine.
Yeah.
I was trying to covertly inform you, but none of it was working.
I'm the storyteller. I do nothing covertly. All right, but yeah, that's about all you find.
Okay. Yeah, I pull out that hammer. And is any of the paper colored?
A couple pieces of it is like that sort of carbon copy, either the pink or the yellow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I grab one handful of each color and put them in my now so many pockets.
Okay.
And then I head back around.
Sounds good. Which is probably right about the time that Adele is coming out.
Yep. So I assume first I encounter Gale.
Gale would still be sitting in the car where she was left.
So hand raises, sort of waves with her hand.
You are muted.
I assume that means Gale gets out of the car.
Was I muted?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, you were.
Okay. So yeah, Gail will give a quick nod, get out of the car, head
Inside,
out.
just back.
Okay.
Look around.
Right about now, Liz is coming around the corner.
Yep, I've got
Her
a hammer.
pockets are a little
swinging it
bulgy,
around.
and she's got a rusty hammer in one hand.
Yeah.
Perhaps leave the hammer in the car, and we're ready for the identification.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. I didn't see anyone back there.
I mean, you can bring the hammer. That would be fine too, but it might make our the person that we need. You are getting services from.
Oh, okay. Okay. I toss it into the car.
As much as Adele would like to see the reaction from the secretary.
It's not a bloody rusty claw hammer. It's just a
rusty hammer.
We don't need the secretary calling the cops, guys.
All right. So after Adele excuses herself, it's probably no more than 2-3 minutes before the other two. And Adele, are you coming back in as well?
Yes.
Okay. So the other three remaining.
Is that many of us going to really crowd the office, though?
The conference room, there are 8 chairs around the table, one of which is occupied, so it would literally just fill it up.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It is a conference room, so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a very low-budget conference room, but you see where it
nonetheless.
Yes. So Adele brings the missing pair in with her. And the individual with the large eyes. You notice that as soon as the door opens, actually, I would like... Let's see, Phage came in last. Neo and Lark, give me a Wits and Composure -1.
Hmm.
Three successes.
3, okay.
You got to put in the -1.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, where it says pull mod, where it says pull mod 0, just change that to a -1.
Yeah, when your pull mod comes up, you can just drop a -1 in there. Awesome.
Good lord. There you go.
4 successes.
All right.
So
Nice.
the pair of you, as the doorknob turns, pretty much everybody's eyes just kind of, do that reflexive, oh, somebody's coming in, gonna look. But Lark and Neo, you kind of keep your eyes on this individual in front of you for just a moment. And as soon as there's that sound of the doorknob turning, those features go back to a completely normal face. And by the time the door opens and closes again, he's restored back to those severely magnified eyes and that much broader than natural grin. Despite not smiling currently.
Nice little bar trick you got there.
He gives you a very flat look. There's a very strong, I have no idea what you're talking about, vibe to it, but he doesn't say anything. So, 6 then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Yes.
6. Auspicious numbers. Let's see what we can find then here. Very well. Payment will be required within the next 3 days. Paperwork to be completed towards the end of the week.
And what is the payment?
There is an individual that I will need for you to speak with. Her name is Ravinia. She is a member of Summer. And like many of her ilk, has chosen to attempt to build her own reputation, unfortunately by flouting certain restrictions that we of the Court of Sorrow have put in place for the safety of all concerned. Unfortunately, direct force will be completely ineffective, as this Farwalker is looking to find any challenge that will demonstrate her strength. Attempting to confront her directly will, in all likelihood, only inflame her determination. But there are areas within the bounds of the city that we discourage people from delving too deeply into. We are not the only strange inhabitants of this metropolis, and it would behoove us all to antagonize the others as little as possible, certainly not for such frivolous purposes as the inflation of our own egos. Understood?
Certainly.
Do you have any
Where?
questions? Well, what little profiling we have been able to accomplish on Miss Ravinia, there are 3 locations that seem to have drawn her especial attention. Greenmount Cemetery, Federal Hill Park, and or the Baltimore Basilica.
That last one was completely lost in...
Baltimore Basilica.
The Baltimore Basilica.
Can I get a roll of some kind to see if I know the significance of these places?
Either intelligence occult or intelligence streetwise. Intelligence occult will be at a -1.
Okay.
Can I do an intelligence streetwise?
Cult is
you've
better
been
for
back
me.
for very little time, so you'll take a -2 to it, but you definitely can.
I'll spend a. I
I'm
will.
just gonna ask. You say
Then-
she's interested in areas that are generally discouraged or forbidden.
Indeed.
I trust for reason, not sending us there just
Well.
useful to have as much.
All of them have some level of significance on the paranormal spectrum, and it is against such foes or individuals, I believe, that she wishes to prove her worth and standing.
I see.
She wants to start a fight.
So I am spending a willpower for the +3
Okay.
for that. And I'm doing it with occult, so that'll actually
All right.
be a total of +2. God damn it. That's 2 successes.
Okay. You're not familiar with any level of paranormal activity around Federal Hill.
Okay.
Greenmount Cemetery. Cemeteries mean ghosts, usually.
Right, of
and
course.
you definitely know that Greenmount, you know that John Wilkes Booth was buried there.
Okay.
The Baltimore Basilica is the oldest Roman Catholic cathedral in the United States. So maybe some shit happens because of that.
Okay.
And these places that we might find her, are these also the places that you discourage people from going, or is that elsewhere?
Indeed. Yes.
Okay.
So there will be some hazard, potentially, but if you're circumspect in your conduct, I believe that you will be able to pass at least relatively unscathed. But
When is she most likely to be found?
likely at any point when she does have a level of discretion to her, and less populated times by the mundane population. After hours, as it were.
Right. Yes, of course.
What does she look like?
Tall. Her suit.
You said that. I'm sorry. Did he refer to her as a summer court person?
Yes.
Yes.
You said that she is a member of the summer court. Is there perhaps
affiliated that direction?
Is there perhaps anyone among War Dancer's people that might have some influence over her?
It couldn't hurt to ask, I suppose. But once again, summer court tend to be birds of a feather. No offense meant, young lady. But should that be the case, it may once again only reinforce her determination to prove herself more adept at command and accomplishment than even those above her standing in her own society. But I will leave it to your judgment. The only thing that matters to me is results.
And what is the result that you would like? I know you said speak with her, but specifically for her to stop, or for us to only make the attempt?
To stop, I would assume.
Indeed.
Just want to be clear. I understand that clarity is important in these dealings.
It can be. You're a rather astute young man, Mr.
Nero. Neurophyrus.
Is that what's going on these, or is that just you?
That's what's going on those.
Very well. Names that the rest of you would prefer on your identification.
And I'll write that down for him.
Okay.
Anthony Miller. Or myself.
Very well.
Yells. Does she remember anything of the last name?
Give me a resolve and composure -2.
I had like 4 of these. I better know one of them.
You do not recall.
0 success.
Yep. With 0 successes, you do not recall particularly aspects of your usual first or last name before your Durance.
Right.
He's glancing around at everybody else in the room, kind of just tapping that pen.
Phage Lawson.
Thoughtful.
Lark Starling.
Very well.
And Phage specifically gave a different last name than she associates with her true name.
Right.
Alexandra? Blue.
He kind
I want my
of
last name to be Blue.
squints a single eye at that, and then nods. and then returns his gaze to Gale.
Gail Smith. That'll do.
Aleail.
AIL. Jack, you did this to confuse me.
Sorry.
AIL.
Splendid. Well, if you would, and he points to a side door that is closer towards his end of the room than yours. Standing up, collecting some of the papers in front of him, putting the pen back in his pocket, and just indicating for you guys to go that direction.
I will stand up and head that direction.
As you step in, it's a little DMV-esque. There's a screen, there's a camera, that sort of thing, and he'll just very quietly and quickly take a few photos of each of you.
Mm-hmm. Does it come out? Does it come out looking? Oh, that's weird. It comes out.
You don't
like,
see how it comes out.
Yeah.
No, it's a digital camera, best you can
but
tell.
it's got to come out like how we don't look. Weird.
Very well. I will await your report and then begin work on these as quickly as possible. Have you any other questions in the meantime?
No.
Keep your heads down. Do not attract attention. That is for the good of all concerned. Thank you. And he will open yet another door that you haven't been through yet, and this one leads out into the back alley.
Hey!
This, you see a very familiar green metal dumpster.
I smile. I don't say anything, but I smile. I think that's how we usually
once we're out.
Okay, and then once you're out, you will the door shuts behind you, and you guys are alone in an alley behind this strip mall.
Winter.
So I take it that heading things off by going to a craft store next might be a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be good. I think that receptionist is gonna get really confused. We didn't come out the same way. I went around here this way.
I imagine that they're used to it.
Mm.
All right.
Anyways, let's craft store, I suppose. Very well.
Yes.
All right.
Please.
The vehicles are where you left them.
Yes.
And with about 10 minutes driving or so, you can find a craft store pretty easily.
Okay.
Yes.
Liz, what are you looking for?
Oh, a whole bunch of stuff.
Just give me categories.
Yep. Basically, yeah, a bunch of sewing equipment.
Sewing, mostly? Okay.
Yep, like hand sewing stuff, and clay materials, and a small welding gun thing.
Like a soldering iron?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a soldering iron, and then there's like a welding torch, and the price discrepancy is a bit.
Yeah, not I feel like an entire selling torch would that'd be definitely be a thing. I want one.
You'd have to go for like a Harbor Freight, not a craft shop for that, probably.
Yeah. Yep. No, I'm just getting like the small ones that you can do for jewelry making and stuff.
And who's footing the bill for this?
I come up with a giant basket full.
I will start assisting listing, culling through the basket and getting only the cheap stuff and getting a reasonable amount of stuff because I have craft dots and I have a specialty in crafts. So okay, so we can use this to sort of substitute for this. Let's only get one color of this for right now.
I want
you don't have a job.
I call dibs on the soldering iron.
There's just a second basket that Gail brings up for like things that I'm going to put back on the shelf.
I'm serious about the soldering iron.
So trying
as
to
Gail's
bring it
putting
something
things
that's
back on the
useful
shelf,
to one
Lark's going to put them back in the basket.
Yes. This is great.
I mean, it's not as long as
So
it's
we've got
not like
this hysterical
$1,000 or something.
Yeah.
We got this hysterical little round robin thing going on. No offense, Lark.
Adele just drifts
and-
along, amused by the whole sequence.
Right.
So this like cycle of.
I'm outside.
And Neo's just yelling about a soldering iron.
Right. Liz and
Lark.
Gale, actually.
Yep.
I want each of you to roll a d10.
Okay.
6.
Highest wins.
Oh,
Okay.
4.
So, Gale, as you're doing the sort of lead in on this whole repositioning, resorting, and everything, give me a presence and. How do I want to run this? Give me a presence and expression. No, presence and empathy. Just a flat roll.
Okay. Presence and empathy, normal roll. 1 success.
Okay. As you're like sorting things out and people are sorting things back, and you sort of are the personification of the obstacle right here. And the girl at the counter is just starting to roll frustration at you. And you're able to pull a glamour off of it if you want to. Because she has obviously been here for about 6 hours already. She's been dealing with customers all day. And this group of potentially middle-aged women are now having a fight very passive-aggressively in front of her register instead of just letting her goddamn ring them up.
So Phage steps over if Lark continues to try and put stuff back in the basket and just puts a hand on Lark's shoulder.
Lark just gives Phage like this innocent smile.
There's this 7-foot-tall woman looking back down at you.
She just continues to smile up at you.
Look, I understand crafts quite well. But with this stuff, you can get started, and based on what we do, when we have more money, we can come back and get other stuff if you would like.
You're on someone else's dime right now. Don't push your luck.
She just shrugs and walks away.
Yeah, I think Neo at this point is just standing next to Adele, just like observing everything that's happening. And I'm just like over here, like, you think they're gonna get this soldering iron?
All right. But you guys eventually do resolve to a reasonable level of supplies. You've got probably a good 60 to 70% of what you originally came with, Liz, including the soldering iron.
Okay.
And you're able to make the purchase and proceed further into your adventures for the day.
All right. Yep. That's what I wanted. Cool.
Okay. So where's everybody headed next?
Music shop.
So I don't know that. I'm sure that everyone else has various chores that they would like to do. While they're doing that, Adele, is there any way you could take me down to the fort?
Shouldn't we all go? We
I
have
don't
to go
think-
I
and...
imagine yes, but
Neofly is typically riding with you, and I think he needs to at least stop by a music shop to get a harmonica or something. At least something that he can carry around.
I was going to ask, Nero, are you going to start dumpster diving if we don't go to a music shop next?
Neo?
You can find lots of cool stuff in dumpsters.
Oh.
The appropriate name.
If we can find some good quality wooden dumpsters, then probably. But I think it'll be easier for us to just buy a small little 11-fret guitar and be done with it.
Okay, so that would mean music store probably next. Does anyone else have particular things that would be specific to them? Not
I
us things, but mortal world.
Right as rain.
Okay.
So
you guys.
Then some of us get musical instruments. Some of us go grab that beer that someone wanted. How's that?
Okay.
I'm all for half beer trip, half music trip, and then meet at the fort.
Second that.
Seems reasonable. Yeah.
Okay.
You could give us the address so we can find it, since you're the one that knows your way around here, Adele.
yes, of course. Who's going? Who's splitting?
Non-smoking car is
Doesn't
going to
matter.
get beer.
Okay.
Well, non-smoking car is going to.
Phage
music
is
shop.
going to get beer because
No, because
sorry,
because
sorry.
Neofly
No,
is.
I realized what I said as I said it. I misheard the non-smoking and thought it was smoking, and then said non-smoking, and don't worry about it.
Yes.
All right. Adele's car is going to a music shop. Lark's car and Liss's car is going to get beer, apparently.
Ooh, can I go to the music shop?
Yeah, Lark wants to go to the music shop.
Okay.
Okay, Phage is apparently going to get beer.
Adele,
Phage
your
and
car
Phage
fit-
and Gale are going to the music shop. Adele, you are getting 2 more people in your car. How's
Very
that?
well. That's fine. They can
The
they
other
can
way
deal
around
with
the
my playlist and my smoking, but I don't mind that they're in here with me.
There is just enough room for 2 small female changelings to squeeze into the back seat.
Wonderful.
It's really crowded.
Gail, do you have Dotson Drive?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Dodson
you're
drive to actually be able to drive.
No,
I know, but I'm a good driver, so and Phage has some size issues. She didn't want to drive previously.
Yeah,
so.
I not only do I not have Dotson Drive, but I'm also very big.
Yeah, I don't have Dotson Drive and I have one eye, so I don't know how I drove before, but it's great.
I am driving
At night.
unless Phage wants to, in which case I'll let her.
Oh, thank you. I'll sit in the passenger seat where there's more room and not a steering wheel in my gut.
Fair enough.
Excellent. All right. So, music shop people. You guys are able to find music shops. It is definitely a thing in Baltimore. Nero is looking for a guitar.
Neo.
Lark.
Neo.
Fly.
Neo.
Fly,
Oh my God,
fly,
it's
fly.
catching. Fly is looking for a guitar.
There you go.
Lark, what are you looking for?
Lark's gonna go look through the sheet music.
Okay. So yeah, you guys find a couple different music shops, and you just pull into one that you like. You've got a number of instruments hanging up there for Neofly, so you'll probably be able to find a range of guitars that would fit your specifics. The sheet music they have is categorized out by genre, artist, that sort of the normal sort of deployment for those. And you guys are pretty easily able to find almost anything you want there. Who's footing the bill for these, however?
At the moment, there's only one person that even has money.
Yes, and they're in. Sorry, I got distracted. But which car are we talking about at this moment?
Talking about
music
your
store.
car.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
think you're with us.
Okay. Sorry.
Because that would be really awkward.
Those,
Well,
those
everybody has at least one temporary dot of resources from the contract.
we have
Yeah.
enough to
from
get
the pledge
beer.
image.
We have
Right.
enough to get beer.
Yeah, you have enough to get beer. And Lark will probably have enough to get sheet music.
Okay.
As long as she doesn't go completely gangbusters.
Yeah.
Guitar is probably about a 2 dot purchase,
Yeah.
however.
I'll put my dot and resource in if someone foots the bill with me, because I'm just basically looking for a small 12 fret guitar, usually made famous by famous British redhead Ed Sheeran, who plays them frequently.
All right.
Small enough that I'll be able to carry it around and not have it like one with like a kind of like a shoulder strap and like guitar case, just to have it always on my person.
Okay. Yeah. So basically that like Little Martin small acoustics that he uses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'd say you could probably find one of those. It's probably priced around 3 and change.
Just
So
have
yeah,
to
you're
press
you're
it.
definitely going to need more than 1 dot of resources to get one of those.
Yeah, I'll put my dot of resources in, and then.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else going to help, or is Neofly up the creek as far as?
I mean, I guess the important question is how far has my 4 been stretched so far?
Your 4 has not with 4.
I don't figure much, but I
Right.
just wanted to make sure.
You're probably hitting about the 50% mark right about now.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. I have no problem with that.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, Lark comes out with a small armload of sheet music, and Neofly has a guitar and probably some. They probably threw in some spare strings for you. Meanwhile, Gale and Phage, are you guys just hitting the nearest corner store or what?
I think the request was for something not garbage. So probably an actual. No, we can't go to an actual liquor store. We don't have proper ID yet.
No, you don't.
Nope.
So yeah, just corner store beer. Because I don't think
All
anyone's
right.
going to mistake Phage for less than 21.
Give me a manipulation and persuasion.
Gail might do it, given that she's. No, never mind. Sorry,
I can do manipulation and persuasion.
Cool.
Yeah, because you're not lying to them. You just don't have the right thing that you
Yeah.
would need in order to make it a non-roll.
One success.
So yeah, you basically just confidently grab a couple of 6-packs of whatever their best option is that you can determine. Drop them on the counter, with supreme conviction, and the guy looks at you, takes your money, takes your card technically, points at the little keypad. You're able to figure out how to swipe a credit card, despite not having used.
So Phage, while she doesn't realize it, kind of does it instinctually.
Yeah. Right. Just zip, boop, pop, 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 and you've got 2 6-packs.
Like almost like it's something that she's almost in muscle memory doing.
Right.
She doesn't even realize that she's doing it, but.
And you're back out to the car. They gave you the address for Fort McHenry, which is 2400 East Fort Avenue. And you guys can all head that direction. We'll say you meet up in one of the public parking lots nearby.
All right.
So, Adele,
Yes.
just so we don't have a slightly awkward time trying to find out around a fort. Do we know any specifics about War Dancer? Where precisely they might be hanging out? Who she is? Anything so we don't have an issue?
Jack.
Questions
Nice.
that I would have thought to ask if I wasn't tired the night before.
The way that it was said previously, it wasn't War Dancer, it was War Dancers, as in a small group, as near as I
No,
understand.
it was War Dancers, the possessive War Dancers group.
Right. War Dancer is, that she is one of the higher-ranking summers in the city. And I mean, there's not actually an official summer king or queen, but if you had to put bets down, you'd definitely put her in the running.
Okay.
And she and a couple others sort of head up the whole summer attaché here in Baltimore. As far as her personally, go ahead and roll me on intelligence and streetwise.
Okay. Streetwise. 3 successes.
Okay, nice. As far as her specifically, you know that she runs a dojo of some sort.
Okay.
And is usually fairly welcoming to changeling students, particularly ones that have sort of proven their loyalty to the establishment.
Okay.
You know that she and Gilly do not see eye to eye. Gilly is sort of her analog in the Autumn Court.
Mm-hmm.
And those two tend to butt heads over things. And you know that she's got a fairly strong social connection to somebody else in Autumn, though. But you don't remember hearing exactly who it was.
Okay.
And she's fairly protection-minded as far as, keeping the borders secure, trying to curtail any goblin or gentry influence in the city, at least on this side of the hedge, that sort of thing.
Okay. Do not mention. It would be best if you not mention Gilly. There is not the best of friendships, shall we say there.
I kind of figured from the conversation we had before we left the house.
Mm-hmm. She didn't sound quite too pleased.
No. It might be... as you might imagine, very martially inclined. If you can find some common ground there, that might be a good place to open up.
I was more curious as to where to find her. The fort area is fairly generic.
Yes.
And
this way. Yes. I mean, we had already given out an address at...
well, no.
When the cars split,
That was the address of the fort. Like, the question I'm asking is similar to what we had with Ledger. Like, does she work at the fort? Does she have a position? Does she have a name that we should ask for? Because I feel like just wandering in and going, "Hey, where's War Dancer?" is a bad idea.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay.
Like,
correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a place that is a gathering for our kind.
is this fort like in operation?
It's not Fort McHenry is
Jack,
a national
is that
monument.
Yeah.
I remember
like
from our
whole
previous
Star Spangled
conversation.
Banner and right. Fort McHenry is where the Star Spangled Banner was written, and shit like that. It's a historical landmark.
Okay.
It's a national monument, national park sort of area. So it's open to the public. It's definitely not like in active use by any of the United States military or anything like that.
Right.
I don't see anything wrong with a few people strolling around and looking like ourselves, and then happening to glance and notice
We're in a different
others
car,
that we're
Dale.
hoping to connect with.
No, you're all in the
we're all right
here.
you're all in the
Yeah.
parking lot right now.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Well, then
Well, then let's get going then.
let us wander.
But let's just make sure to keep our eyes open. We don't want to walk into anything.
Do you
We're
have?
looking for changeling with guns.
These are not people that I normally associate strongly with, so I will not know them on sight, but...
do you happen to know...
I mean, aren't most changelings easy to differentiate from?
We're looking for people like ourselves, but with guns.
Adele, do you happen to know if she's... And I point at myself, and then I point at Lark, and then I point at Liz, and then I point at Phage, and then I point at Gale, and then I point at Neophyte.
Do I know...
You know she's a Ferris.
Yes. I think that was said before.
And Ravinia is a firewalker. She might be like you. Nero.
Farwalker.
Oh,
That's
Farwalker.
Ravinia is a Farwalker. Yes.
Farwalker. Okay, I misheard that. That's me. Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
All right. Let's wander then. And I wander into the Fort McKendree Monument area. I don't know what it
Okay.
looks like because I've never been there.
That's fine. Google
Well,
Maps has
first you
some
go by
street
the gift shop because
if
that's
you
always
need
how it goes.
But yeah, no, the fort is laid out with heavy earthworks, star-shaped architecture, buildings in the standard architectural ring on the interior, that sort of design. And you can see it from when you're walking down Constellation Plaza towards the park area. But you guys have parked there in Constellation Plaza, so you can see from where you're at, visitor center, fort, and then lots of open green space, fairly well landscaped in between. And as you're walking around, kind of just taking in the general area, I would like everybody to give me a wits and composure -1.
Okay.
Give me 1 second. Someone's knocking at my door.
Okay.
You said wits and composure -1?
Wits and composure -1.
0 successes.
Okay.
2 successes.
2 successes.
0.
-1. 1 success.
Okay.
Composure and this. Why this is so slow. 3.
All right.
So
Oh shit! That's not even close to the right roll. What the?
Oh yeah, no, that's not. Wits and composure, not.
Actually, no, it's not. It was kind of close. It was just off by 1, but still. What?
Question, Gail? Or was that somebody else?
no, I was just saying 0.
Oh, okay. So as you guys are walking in,
So 1.
it's late afternoon, so there's not a ton of people around, but there's still, small crowds, families, people having picnics, that sort of thing. The afternoon crowd. Some college age or high school age students who are looking for a place to neck, that sort of thing. And you're trying to keep an eye out for any level of people like you. Phage draws a little bit of attention simply because of her stature, but nobody's looking at you guys like, oh my god, they have a bird woman and somebody who looks dead, and
Right.
why is that lady wearing a dress or made out of a dress? I don't understand, things like that. So you're all able to pass more or less unnoticed. Adele, Liss, and Lark, however, as you guys press further in, you can hear raised voices off to one side. Sounds like 2 females engaged in some level of verbal argument beyond one of the outbuildings somewhere nearby. Definitely out of line of sight to you, though.
I want to go
I
toward
start
that.
diverting in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want
towards.
to. I want to try and listen in.
What did I need to roll for?
Wits and composure -1.
Not get noticed.
Okay. Liz, go ahead and give me a dexterity and stealth then.
Okay.
Yay!
+1.
All right. Dexterity.
Anybody
Right.
else who's trying to
Also-
sneak up on the argument can do the same. Dexterity, stealth, +1.
1 success. What did I notice? That everybody else has
You
noticed?
heard a verbal argument sounding
3
like it's
successes.
coming between 2 females off to one side, behind like an outbuilding or something. You can't see them, but there are definitely raised
Oh.
voices.
So 9 again on stealth.
I mean, I'm just gonna walk in a direction to where I can see the argument, not necessarily getting close enough to listen to it, but
Okay.
get
So you're
eyes on
kind
it.
of doing a flanking visual
yeah.
maneuver. Okay.
Yeah, I'm
What?
kind of doing the same.
Yeah,
thing,
I'm probably walking
as
in that
well.
direction.
God
too.
dang it!
Because I just want to see.
I will get an accurate roll in here at some point.
Okay. So you guys start creeping up on it, and you start hearing now, being able to make out some of these sounds while still remaining as undetected as possible for your own part. But one of the voices is just going, Sally, we've got worse things to worry about. There are higher priorities on the schedule right now. I understand that your perspective is that the whole assumption of structure is important, but we need to make sure people are safe, and we need to make sure that we actually have vetted the people coming in before we start having, I don't know, what, political campaigns and shit that you're all interested in. And the other voice responds, listen, Dub, having a safe society means you have to have a society in the first place. We can't have something set up with a level of, I don't know, whatever you guys consider yourselves, martial law or something. I don't think, look, all of us have been through hell and back, and the last thing people need as soon as they get to town is to be interrogated and put through some sort of Guantanamo. And as you guys creep around, you see definitely two changelings in a fairly heated argument. The taller one has dark black hair with a shock of red running through it, obviously dyed. Her eyes are almost reptilian in structure. She's got a very intense, imposing face. You can see her exposed hands where they come out of her cuffs also have small, fine red scales and long, jagged talons actually emerging from the fingertips. The other one is equally gorgeous in her physical aspect. She's got a small violin case strapped across her back. And very, very graceful, but much shorter. The one with the scaled and talon hands is holding a heavy staff in her left, and they seem to just be having a fairly strong difference of opinion on some topic or other. And then let me see what they roll for things. No,
one of them looks over their shoulder and sees a 7-foot-tall bull woman.
Probably.
and a man made of fire.
Probably.
Because neither one of us are sneaking.
And a dude with a guitar on his back.
May not see me.
And
though.
Gail, who probably just now notices this because she's the only person that didn't succeed the perception check.
Probably. Yep. And War Dancer definitely sees you guys as soon as any of you come into space. And she snaps into a defensive position and just very swiftly moves the shorter female behind her.
Which one snaps into a defensive position?
The scaly, finger-taloned one with the stick.
So, not a Ferrist.
No, definitely a Ferrist.
Yeah,
that sounds more like a
Ferrist.
beast. That sounds more like a... Well, I don't know.
No.
Give me an intelligence.
You're
and a
letting
cult
your
roll.
prejudices get in the way.
I'm sorry, if you look like a lizard person, I assume you're the lizard people.
Give me an intelligence and a cult.
Iconic.
Yep.
Intelligence what?
And a cult.
Intelligence and occult. So,
Yep.
A chance roll is what you're saying.
Yes.
Neo's probably just going to see the small person with the violin on their back being pushed back, and he's just going to say, "Butterfly,
0
is that
successes.
Okay.
Adele is moving forward to sort of intercept what she believes is about to be a disaster.
Yeah, Gail is also going to try and be a diffusing force in this situation.
No. And the very draconic Ferrist in front of you with the staff. Who the fuck are you people?
Forgive
I
us,
sort
we
of
did
raised
not
my
mean
hands up.
to intrude on your conversation. These are newcomers. I'm Adele. I don't know if...
I heard of you.
Yes. And some newcomers who look at Nero specifically, wish to have some dealings with you potentially.
And
No offense was intended by our...
a small hand kind of rests very gently on the back of War Dancer's shoulder. I'm sure it's fine, W. They're just going to want to talk.
Yes.
She kind of clenches her jaw a little bit. All of you stay there. Sally, will you at least just watch them for me for a minute? And the other one nods. And War Dancer fishes out a key, unlocks the outbuilding behind her, which looks to be roughly a tool shed size. Steps inside and closes the door. And Sally just kind of leans up against the door and gives you a smile, but doesn't say anything yet. She's just watching you very closely with a quasi-impish grin on her face.
We're really not a threat. We don't even have any weapons yet.
I feel like we need to remember that apparently large groups don't typically come through. We might be freaking people out. Let's not do that anymore.
I shrug. And
It's been a couple months, darling. There's not really a standard pattern for returns yet.
I've just been trying to see if she's responded to my statement from earlier.
She has not even remotely responded to your statement yet.
I will. So is this like is there a wall nearby next to this, or is this like a?
No, this is like it's kind of open space. There's some trees around, but it's basically just an outbuilding.
Okay, so I will move into a position where I am very easily visible from when the door opens.
Okay.
And lean against whatever there is to lean against. If nothing, then I'll just stand there in the middle of the area, pull out a cigarette, light up, smoke.
Yep. Adele also does that. Well, the lighting up part. She's staying right where she is.
Okay.
Fly's gonna sit down and test out his new baby.
Okay. Give me a presence and expression roll. Specialties would apply if it's 6 string.
Okay. You said presence and expression?
Mm-hmm.
One second. Oh,
So
one success. Yeah.
You start to pick away at it a little bit. Still getting the fingering down right. And it may need to get retuned here in a bit, but it's serviceable. And what would you probably be playing?
Just be playing just some harmonics on it, just testing it out to see if it sounds good. Because it's an instrument that he hasn't seen in that size in quite a long time. It's not a lot of people play it like that size, and he's been trying to figure out who nowadays would be playing it, for that size. So he's just trying to test it out, see if it's serviceable and if it sounds good.
And as you do that, Sally's eyes flash a little bit, and within about 10 seconds, the case is open, the violin is out, and she is playing along with you.
Okay.
It is gorgeous. She is, like, you have not had this sort of unified harmony with another performer, definitely since Arcadia, if even then. This girl knows her way around her instrument with an incredible amount of pathos and understanding. Mm-hmm. And like even when you and Will were playing the evenings before, it was not even close to this. This girl is good. She's definitely not Butterfly. You can tell that just by the style and the sort of tone that she brings to it. She's something different than Butterfly was, but
Musicians know each other by their music.
Yeah. But she is damn good.
Yeah, I think at that point, during like the playing and I guess during like the process of the whole thing ending, I think I don't know, because or should I say, Neofly is kind of still trying to get used to like this whole situation, and seeing that another person is like playing the violin is just really reminding him of Butterfly, and he kind of gets choked up at it.
Mm-hmm.
And when he stops, he's just like, "I'm sorry, that was beautiful. You remind me of somebody that I'm looking for right now." Oh.
Well, I hope you find him. Give me a wits and empathy.
Okay. Well, this should be interesting.
There's there's a very, like, as Phage is just kind of standing around waiting, she's humming a very faint tune, just a very light, airy. It's something very almost Renaissance in the musical style.
Oh, hold on, because I didn't know it already took off the thing. I gotta roll it again.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead and roll that again.
0 successes.
Okay. Right about now, the door swings open again. You see War Dancer poke her head out, look side to side, and then step out and gesture behind her from inside the building. And about 5 other people come out of this woodshed. One of them, leading the pack, is a large man, definitely of some level of African American descent. He's seems to be caked almost in rock and mud. You can see small bits of quartz poking through the knuckles on the back of each of his hands. And he is massive. Like, Phage, he's taller than you are. You have no idea how he fit in this outbuilding. Unless he was somehow just sitting on the floor the entire time. Yeah. But as these people eventually come out, you're like, okay, yeah, no, that is more than just a woodshed. There's no way those people were in there. And War Dancer just sort of makes a circling motion with her forefinger, and the man who's leading, he's just got a sledgehammer kind of lounging across his shoulders, gives her a nod and a grin, kind of looks at the group of you. Well, I guess we'll have to see if there's any fuckery going on. And he and the other 4 just go off on what appears to be a casual walk around the general environs. Meanwhile, War Dancer is holding the door open and says, "All right, everybody, inside. Sally, thank you. We will talk more later," in a very sort of finality dismissive kind of tone, which Sally just sort of shrugs, smiles, and gives you all a wave and walks away.
I will wave.
I give
to
her
Sally,
a polite sort of curtsy, goodbye curtsy in response.
and I'll sort of
wave.
walk towards the door, pause, and just sort of indicate the lit cigarette in my hand towards her, as it, like, questioningly.
She shrugs.
Adele just walks in with
I
her
will continue to
cigarette
walk in and smoke.
without
Okay.
asking.
Yeah, before
Assuming
Sally
that-
walks. Oh.
It will be torn from her hand and thrown out if it's not acceptable, and she's okay with that.
I like to be polite.
Before Sally walks away, Neo just kind of inadvertently just says, "Thank you," and then kind of nervously just puts his guitar back in his case and just begins to walk inside.
Okay. Lark, I want you to roll me just a single D10, just so I have a number for later. As you guys walk inside, what on the outside looks like a tool shed immediately gives way to just a roughly hewn set of wooden stairs going down. Stonework lines the hallway, and it takes 2 bends before you come out in what honestly looks kind of like a military training camp mess hall. There's rows of tables on either side. You can smell some level of food. Everything is built, however, out of just stone and wood. There's not that sort of, metal construction that a lot of barracks or pole buildings would have. It's got a very sort of militaristic feel to it, but outdated almost in a sense, where you feel like this is older architecture somehow. So as you guys proceed in, there's probably 10 or 12 other people down here, just gathered around tables. Some of them are eating, some of them are playing cards, and there's a number of other doors that lead off of this main sort of assembly hall area. And War Dancer just directs you guys over to a table. As she comes in, everybody definitely turns to watch her. But seeing as you guys are just behind her and nothing seems to be going on, they return to their activities for the most part. A couple of them, however, jump up and go over to stand behind her as she sits down at one end of the table. These are picnic tables. There's not chairs so much as there are benches on either side. She's got like a little folding camp chair that one of them pulls out, expands, and she sits down in. The staff remains leaning very close to hand, and she just puts her elbows on the table. All right, so what do you fuckers want?
Well, we are kind of new to the city, so we're just trying to figure out A, what's going on, B, what we can do to help.
Mm-hmm.
We got asked to help find someone.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Who?
Ravinia.
All right. What's your business with her?
Well, as part of our payment for IDs, we need to talk to her, and apparently there are some places around the city that folks don't like us to go, and she likes to go.
She proves her worth.
Well, that's kind of neither here nor there, but...
For you, maybe.
Forgive. I believe there was another that some of you had wanted to come here to talk about means of self-defense before we get into that sort of thing.
Yeah, but I assume that's gonna come along with being able to pull our own weight.
Gale has
here,
the restraint
so.
not to face palm.
There's a little bit of an eyebrow raise at the phrase "pull your own weight."
Adele never said that part, for the record.
No, that was definitely Nero.
Okay.
No, I said
Yes.
pull my own weight.
Well, no, yeah, it was said to me, who had not expressed it to
Got it.
Nero.
Then the phrasing of that would have been, and at least I don't know about the rest of them, but at least I'm here to see about how I can pull my own weight.
Same goes for me.
Yeah.
I take a more self-interested approach to negotiation. I sometimes feel like it's more honest.
Pulling my own weight would be a bit of a harder task for myself than for the rest of these people. So.
Well, we can see how that works then. Pulling your own weight is something that we encourage around here.
Oh, that's how I was raised.
Someone was raised.
Then
Hey.
he sort of like tilts his head slightly. I'm not sure why I said that, but I think it's right.
All right, then. And then she puts her fingers to her mouth and gives a piercing whistle. And everybody around jumps to their feet. All right, maggots. We're going to have ourselves a cannonball run. Let's go.
What's that?
Pardon?
What?
And she stands to her feet.
Sounds like
And
fun.
everybody just ushers you guys back up the stairs and out.
All right.
Softly
Oh.
to probably to Adele. Why does it feel like we were suddenly drafted?
Because we kind of were not. We'll see how this goes. There are conversations that are going to be had after
Phage,
this.
Nero is never allowed to lead negotiations again. I'm trusting you.
This is why I
Until the
figured.
fucking
This is why I figured
possible.
not everyone wanted to come.
Well, no, there.
Everyone wanted weapons.
Well,
Gotta pull
I don't know
this.
about you guys, but I'm excited. Let's go.
All right. So,
I'll see what
They
I can
guide
do,
you
but
upstairs.
I think someone as headstrong as him is a little hard to contain.
and back out. And they hold people at the door and they let people out 3 at a time. And then they count for a little bit. And then another 3. And then they count for a little bit, and that sort of thing. But after about 5-10 minutes or so, they let everybody is once again on the exterior. And War Dancer just takes the lead and starts walking down towards the water.
I follow.
I follow.
She takes a left on a path, and there is a setup where, and as you're looking around, you're noticing that most of the people at this point have left the park. The sun is very, very low in the west behind you, and there's some very long shadows being cast by the walls of the fort that are rising directly adjacent to you currently.
Like the sun and
And everybody sort of assembles in a little knot at one end. And I would like people to make a wits and composure.
Yep.
I already had that selected. 1 success.
Okay.
2 successes.
0 successes.
Why isn't it rolling for me?
2 successes.
Wait.
1 success.
1 success.
So everybody except
None.
Neophi and Adele notice that there's a very long, kind of flat grass area. And down at the far end, there are a couple of little pyramids, which look like they're made of small stacks of cannonballs. And at this point, a couple of the others break out these sort of collapsible wooden frames and set them in a row in front of you guys. And then War Dancer claps her hands twice. All right. We're doing this relay style, teams of 3. First to get all theirs piled, well, that's your winner. Let's see how the rookies do. Pick 3 of yourselves.
Nero, Phage, you're with me.
I don't have
It's
fine with me.
So
I kind of look at Gale and shrug and walk over towards Neophi.
I'll walk over there.
Okay. There's 2 other teams, just of 3 other changelings, all of which are going through their general sort of warm up. There's cracking of shoulders and rolling of necks and things like that. A little bit of stretching.
Yeah, Neo's gonna do the
This
same.
is almost exclusively like a contest, right?
Oh yeah.
And I'm definitely here to show off more than anything else. Do I fit the catch
Oh, yeah.
for display grandiose might?
You would definitely fit your catch for that.
Yeah,
All right.
Neo, giving his athletic specialty, is just getting really excited because he hasn't been able to do this for quite some time.
Okay.
So I just want to look at what the other teams are preparing to do and see if I can tell what exactly that like sort of how they're lining each other up and what they're trying to do.
They're lining up in single file behind their little wooden frame. And it looks like it's going to be a run, grab, carry back what you can, and then tag the next person in line. They run, grab, carry back what they can, and you just keep doing that until you've got however many you need back in your stack.
And would I have any modifiers for that? Because I am definitely wearing an outfit that is designed to show off, and not necessarily my muscles, but my physique in general.
For display grandiose might?
Yeah.
Let me take a look here. Contracts of Stone.
Like her outfit right now is definitely like cut high on the shoulders and low on the chest and kind of.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give you a +1.
Yeah.
All right.
No, no, that's the wrong. It didn't roll my weird. Okay.
It did
Never
not
mind,
roll
I'll do that again.
It said athletics and modifiers.
Yeah,
You just
you
make
might
the
just have to
modifiers
add
do
your weird as a modifier.
Still got no successes though. So
Okay.
Nothing changed.
So yeah, it doesn't. Your strength is unaffected.
Yep.
But you don't burn any glamour, so it's not like a total loss.
Yeah.
Is Nero
When your turn comes back around again, depending on where you're lined up, I'll let you try and enact that again
Alright.
if you'd like.
Sure. It is an instant thing, so.
Right. Okay. So how are you guys lining up?
Well, it looks like we're gonna have to just carry as many cannonballs as we can. Phage, would you like to start us off?
Sure, I can try and start.
I'll take second.
I'll take third.
Is
Okay.
Nero still heavily injured? Is that going to affect how much he can carry?
I'm not heavily injured. I'm not injured
Okay.
enough to where it's a negative.
Okay, cool. Sweet. I was just wondering about that. Cool. That's all.
Okay. All right.
Cannonballs.
So let me see. Make sure I have my rolls set correctly.
Oh,
And
the open.
we will use anything good for that. Okay. All right. So War Dancer steps off to one side, raises her staff, and then says, "Go!" with a drop. I will need the first person in line to roll strength, stamina, and athletics.
All right, so since that's me, can I go ahead and try?
Yep. Go ahead.
Try that again. 2 successes, so my strength increases by 2 for the scene.
Yes.
Because it increases by my weird.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then you said strength and athletics?
Strength, stamina, and athletics.
Athletics.
No, strength and stamina and athletics. 3 things go into this.
You can't select 3 on the character sheet.
Yeah,
so
you'll have to just
I
add
gotta
a
make a
modifier.
modifier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does my endurance athletics specialization qualify?
For this, yeah, I'd say so.
Sweet.
I want to keep an eye on the other teams and see what they're doing.
4 successes.
4 successes. All right. So it takes you a while. Usually it takes, for this, since it's an extended roll, we're going to say it's 5 minutes per roll. So you haul ass down there. You grab as many cannonballs as you can fit in your mitts. And these things are solid iron and heavy. And like normally you'd pick something up of this size of any metal and you would have kind of a rough idea of how much it weighs. These things seem like they are heavier than they should be. But you haul ass backwards and you drop these 4 cannonballs clunk 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 into the frame and reach out and tag whoever is next.
That would be me.
So just really quick, I want to watch while the first 2 are going, I want to be watching and see what the other 2 teams are doing to see if it's legitimately just a contest of strength or if they're using their innate changeling abilities to affect it in any way.
Okay. Give me a intelligence and occult.
I was hoping for wits composure.
Nope. You're not trying to just see what's happening. You're also trying to see if they're particularly using certain supernatural aspects of themselves.
If it's not obvious, then I'm probably not going to get it. Because that's a chance roll.
What's it called? Does my parkour ability
Nope.
apply in this one?
Parkour would not in this
Okay.
case.
I-
Because this isn't jumping, climbing, acrobatics. This is
Okay.
just straight up muscles. Yeah, you can't really tell, Nero. As you're watching, you don't see anything overt or obvious that they're incorporating. But there weren't any rules that said you couldn't, so...
3 successes.
All right. So you dash out there as fast as you can, and you take part of your clothes and sort of try and use that to sort of singe up a little bag of some sort so you can carry more than one or two at a time, and then you hobble your way back. It's definitely much harder, obviously, on the return trip because you are weighed down by a lot of metallic weight. But you managed to get 3 other cannonballs, thump, 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 right into the frame and start sort of stacking them up. And you reach out and you tag Nero, who's next in line. As you look over, the other crews have also been making progress. The one closest to you in 2 rounds has only managed to get 4 cannonballs back, 2 and 2 each. The one on the far end, though, they're up to 10 at this point. They will probably finish in their very next round. Yeah, their first runner literally came back with 7, somehow mangled in. I mean, he was an ogre as well and of pretty intense stature, and he just had armloads of these things.
All right. Can I use willpower?
Yes, you can.
I'm going to use willpower because I have crap dice. 1 success.
You managed to get 1 cannonball back.
I rolled 2 1s.
Yep.
And 1 8.
Oh shit, that's terrible. Okay.
Yep.
So you managed to get 1 cannonball back. However, the anchorman for that guy down the line also only manages to get 1 cannonball back. They have 1 cannonball left at their frame when you go down and see that coming back. That he was probably about 30 seconds ahead of you on the run, but he only managed to wrestle one of those things out before just deciding fuck it and run back.
Good.
So they have to get at least 1 more back in. The other crew has narrowed their lead somewhat. They're up to 8 right now.
Tied with us.
And you guys have
8.
Yeah. You guys have about 4 more cannonballs to go. So Phage, you're back up.
So on the run this time, on the way there, the leading team, can I sort of taunt the guy who's going at the same time as I am and try and distract him?
Okay, how do you want to do that?
So as I'm running and just because I'm going to be using glamour to increase my strength for lifting the boulders. I'm just intending to. So as we're running and my muscles are just kind of growing to become more apparent underneath all of the body fat, she just kind of looks over to the side with the other person who's also running at the same time.
Okay.
And just goes, "Oh, you may be a little bit tall." Okay, is the other person, the ogre, is a little bit bigger than me?
Just a touch.
You may be a little bit taller than me, but it looks like you don't know quite how to use it. As I just kind of grow even bigger and just
give me a manipulation and what?
Subterfuge?
No, this is more of an expression.
Oh, okay. I do have some expression, but
yeah, manipulation and expression -1.
I'm doing it for the express purpose of tripping them up, but I get your point.
Spend willpower. Get that extra 3 dice.
Yeah, I'll spend a willpower. I want to trip them up.
Okay.
So, extra 3. 2 successes.
Okay. He's going to need to roll something then. Oh, shit. So he stops to try and take a swing at you. But in altering his course, that gives you like 2 or 3 feet ahead of him, and he's definitely fallen a little bit behind in the race. Go ahead and make your strength, stamina, and athletics roll.
All right. And then I get to spend. I can spend 2 glamour in a turn, so I'm going to spend 2 glamour to increase my strength. This strength roll.
Okay.
So that's strength and stamina plus. Can I spend another willpower for this as well?
This is still technically the same turn, so you can only spend 1 willpower this round.
Okay.
Go, Phage.
So that's strength, stamina, and my glamour. That's I'm rolling 12 dice here.
Got this. Come on.
8 successes.
Holy shit! All right.
Just slam
So you
dunk the
literally
rest.
just scoop up all the remaining cannonballs, and he's still falling behind a little bit. So I'm going to say, you grin at him. Take 2 steps to the left and just kick his one remaining one as far as you possibly can. And then just haul ass back and dump the last 4 in the frame. Meanwhile, the other team manages to get 2 more, which puts them at 10. So yeah, and you guys have won the cannonball run for the summer today.
Neo has just been like jumping up and down and being the cheerleader, like, come on, Fat, you can do it! Oh my god! Losing his mind right now.
Just some polite applause that
Yes.
Still,
almost gives off an air of, well, obviously she wins.
I'm still.
And-
Adele just raises her hands and goes,
And when Phage gets back to the rally point, she just kind of stands there reflexes for a bit.
Right. And there's actually a lot of good-natured applause going around at this point. Meanwhile,
I'm just
Wait, hold
standing
on,
there.
hold on.
I'm
Wait,
just-
really quick. I wanted to try something. Can Neo try to like kind of just like get on Phage and do a backflip off of her shoulders?
Sure, I'll stand there for it.
give me a dexterity and acrobatics.
And does
Can I-
parkour
can I
apply
assist
for
not
this?
a
my
thing.
strength?
No,
Can I assist my-
the dexterity and athletics, your parkour would apply.
What if you just face plant into the cannonballs?
That'd be hilarious.
That would be fucking hysterical.
I'm sort of staying next to the cannonballs, nursing my shoulder, which
Can
does
I
still
like
hurt.
help him springboard off of me?
You accomplish it. It's not pretty, and you sort of bobble the landing a little bit. But you know, there's a little bit of laughter that goes around. But everybody's feeling fairly positive, except for the ogre who's coming up, just sort of palming this last cannonball, just sort of shaking his head. He's not angry per se, but he's just disappointed, I think, is probably the expression that you're getting off of him. Just kind of slams it down into the pile there.
There's just a she just kind of looks at him and there's just a slight tick sticking out of the tongue. Just
Yeah, Neofly has his like thumb up from the ground. He's just like, I'm good.
I'll reach over and
All
help
right.
Neo get
So-
up.
For the next 24 hours, anytime that Neofly, Nero, or Phage interacts with a member of the Summer Court, you guys have an automatic +1
Yeah.
on social rolls. And War Dancer is there, clapping her hands. All right. It's a reasonably decent performance. Well done, 3 of you. Papa, do you see that? And that immense ogre that had gone out on that walk around with the other 4 is coming around, carrying the sledgehammer by the haft. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. We might be willing to consider these people. But let's get inside. Get some drinks. We can talk. Yeah?
Sounds good.
I like the sound of that.
All right. And that's where we're going to take a short break for a bit.
All right. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, so go ahead and stretch your legs, get a drink, get food, whatever you do. See you in a minute. And we're back from our break. Hopefully you acquired beverage and whatever else you needed.
They somehow acquired chocolate cake.
You guys are once again escorted through the outbuilding into this other dimension, or magically expanded, or something weird but definitely bigger on the inside location.
Doctor.
Fuck you.
You made the reference.
But doctor.
And War Dancer sits down, kind of scooting her chair over to one side to let Papa Sledge pull over just a huge log, a cylinder section of log that he slams down on and lays the sledgehammer against the table.
You said Sledgeman was an ogre?
Yes.
Can I tell what kind? Stone bones, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Okay.
Why not? Yeah, he's definitely a stone bones. But they kind of just look at you guys with slightly more accepting attitudes at this point.
Faye just kind of gives a grin and shows off her literally razor-sharp teeth.
Yep. So, you guys say you need some gear.
Yep.
They do.
Fair enough. How many of you?
Raise my hand.
Raise my hand.
2, 3.
I think all of us except for Adele.
6. Okay. Well, what do you think? One apiece? Sledge kind of tilts his head to one side and gives a nod. Favor for a favor, naturally, he responds. You guys are newcomers. You know Kalanag?
Nope.
No.
There's a slight moment where Gale instinctively looks towards Adele.
Del, you've never heard of Kalanag before. Let's just say Summer Gang here is interested mostly in keeping people safe, keeping the freehold, such as it is, protected, making sure that we have enough bodies to man the ramparts, as it were. Right now, we're workshopping some ideas, and we're trying to scout talent. So, with performance like that, any of you 3 that are interested in joining in, by all means. If not, no hard feelings. Kalanag is who we want, though. We want you to find him, figure out how to get him to come down here and join in with our group. He's courtless right now. And as an individual of his talents goes, we could put him to good use.
I mean, you're all fun and all, but it's a little dour here. I had heard that there was a group of people who like to have a little bit more fun.
They give you a very level look. Not angry, not frustrated or disappointed, just evaluating, like they're adding more information to their mental dossier of you. Well, there's plenty of spring folk in Baltimore as well. But if you're looking for brothers and sisters, family who will stand with you, and people who have a longer view in mind, we're the ones you're going to want to hang out with. But choices are yours. Freedom is freedom.
Oh.
Haven't you asked Kalanag before? What did they say before? What did he say before?
He's difficult to find recently. And unfortunately, from what rumors we have heard, he's fallen in with a bad crowd. Motley out of Gwyn's Falls, known as Greenwall, I think. Right, Papa? He nods. Yeah. He's been spending more and more time with them. And they're a little culty for our tastes. And tend to try and keep to themselves almost exclusively. Now, we're not going to force Kala and Ag into doing anything that he don't want to do, but he does not appear to be aware of all of his potential options.
Well, certainly wouldn't mind giving him a talking to. As to the other... Sorry, Liz.
What can we offer him?
Up to
From
you.
you.
Well, once we can actually talk to him, we'll be doing the negotiating and the offering. We just need to find a way to get him down here.
All right.
They want a meeting. They don't want anything more.
I'm sure we can do something about that.
It wouldn't be appropriate for us to negotiate for summer anyway.
Just in case it becomes relevant, I assume you'd hope to meet here, or would you be open to another
We'd
meeting?
prefer
places?
that. If he's coming off all paranoid and whatnot, we could possibly make arrangements to meet elsewhere. But
when you
For the
say
secondary option, we do have the possibility of a middle ground, but this is preferred.
Absolutely.
when you say
yeah,
I'm sorry, when you say culty, are you what style of cult? Are we talking a similar ideology? Are we talking more
don't know much about their
Manson-like around a particular person?
No, just not. We don't know much about their ideology. We don't know
Or
much about their
simply
focus.
tribal.
They very tribal. Anytime we've tried to talk to them, everybody scatters and goes to ground. Nimble little fuckers they are. You being not overtly affiliated, as far as I'm aware, at least most of you, might raise fewer red flags, being the contact party. The away team, so to speak.
Yes. That should be doable.
Agreed.
Oh,
Sounds good.
you can set up a meeting for that. We'll pay you ahead of time to get it done. One item a piece. I'll show you to the armory.
Unifly just gives the biggest grin.
And about
What about? Yeah.
about courts and all. If you guys are about defending people, then I think I might be home here.
Good to know. We'll definitely talk more about that then.
All right.
Adela is completely unsurprised.
Jesus, the elemental fireheart that's interested in summer. Huh.
Who would have thunk?
There is.
Gail?
As that conversation happens,
Mm-hmm.
Gale does stiffen a bit and give this sort of frustrated glance at Nero and Phage.
Phage kind of looks over her shoulder. You want in too? I just kind of say.
To who?
To Gale.
I was not chosen to participate. Directed at Nero very specifically.
Well, to be fair, the one that Neo was the one that called me and Nero over.
Yes,
so.
the one with the fly mask. You two have the same name. Shut up, Max.
So I nod for a second and I look over at War Dancer and I say, if you're looking for people who can do a real number on others, that one swings a sharp object better than anyone I've seen. I say, pointing back at Gale.
Oh. What's your name?
Gale. Pleasure.
Likewise. If you like sharp objects, let me show you where we keep them.
That would be Very much appreciated.
This way. And she starts walking down towards one of the doors at the far end of the mess hall. It's heavily chained, and she pulls out that key ring again, unlocks 2 padlocks that are securing it, takes them both off and hangs them on hooks, and the chains themselves just automatically retract and wrap around into these little bolt holes that pierce the walls. And she holds up a hand, stand back a minute, and pulls the door open. And there is just a wall of thorns in front of you. They're probably about... the stems are woody and fibrous, probably about a couple inches in diameter at their thickest. The thorns themselves are about 8 to 10 inches long, mostly, razor sharp, and they have got slight serrations on them. And she just licks her hand, leaving a sheen of saliva across her palm, and lays it very gingerly across the flat of one of the thorns. Pulls back, and with a creaking sound like an oak in a high wind, they slowly begin to part slightly, leaving this rounded passageway, probably about 4 or 5 feet deep. With still these just lethally projected razor-sharp thorns pointed inward now. And she just steps in past you. All right, we're good.
Walking.
Follow.
Inside.
Mm-hmm. As you come inside,
Yep.
there are shelves and hooks and chests and cabinets and all manner of storage for weapons. The most of what you see is either handguns or bladed melee weapons for the most part. There are a couple of cabinets at the far end that are pretty heavily locked. There's a lot of security in here, and she begins to just pull things off the walls and set them on a couple of the tables there in the middle, basically sort of laying out a selection for your perusal for the most part.
I'm looking for brass knuckles, and if that fails, body armor.
Yeah, you can find there's a pair of brass knuckles that she can get set for you. Brace, one for each hand.
Adele, since she's not part of the group getting weapons, is keeping back out of the room. Not intruding.
Okay.
Fly's just looking for a nice old black handgun. Something that's easily in out. Good for
Okay. As far as that goes, are you looking for more of like a revolver or a semi-auto?
Probably a semi-auto.
Okay.
That's what he's more used. That's what he's used to.
Sounds good. For that, you'd probably be looking at a... Probably looking at a... They've got a couple Russians, like a Makarov.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the closest one that you'd be looking at there.
Okay.
All right.
Nero, what about you?
I'm looking to see if they have any sort of a cult single action, like 1911.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They've got a 1911 A1.
Yep. That will immediately draw his attention.
Okay.
Pick it up. Like, I don't, are they just like on display? Are they behind stuff? Or...
Everything that you guys have access to is being taken down and laid on a table. Anything that's still hanging on the walls, there's sort of a nonverbal. This is what we're giving you access to. That stuff we're keeping.
So yeah, just sort of reach out, slide it over, do the quick barrel clear and check, make sure that it's in functional, sort of functional, very. With military precision, like click,
I'm doing the
click,
same with the Mac. I'm doing the same with the Makarov.
Click.
Yep.
Yeah.
As you guys look them over, give me intelligence and firearms.
Faye just kind of
weaponry?
like
No,
slips
firearms.
like
Okay.
guns.
Sorry, firearms. That's right. Sorry, other one.
Paige
have
just
both.
kind of like tests the brass knuckles and make sure they actually fit on her fingers.
Yeah, there's a couple different sizes that she has laid out. They're in pairs, zip tied together. But the one you pick up, you kind of slide your fingers through it. You have to size up one from the initial ones that you picked. But yeah, they've got a size that'll fit you.
0 successes.
Yeah, it looks fine to you.
Does my gunslinger ability apply in this one?
Your specialty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Liz wants a gun as well. Something incredibly weirdly fancy. That looks like it's from a movie set. Ideally, she'd be able to see the mechanisms moving as you like clean it.
Okay.
That sound it sounds
Wait, do
like
you have a firearms specialty, Nero?
I do.
Yeah.
Not a
No, I
specialty. have
thought I would
firearms, though.
be able
Yeah.
to use my merit for that. I'm not sure
Actually,
if it-
yeah, that's actually a good question.
Oh,
Would I been able to use
merits don't apply to dice rolls usually.
Would,
They
would
just
I,
Oh, okay.
would I have been able to use my specialization in that roll?
Yes, you would have.
Oh, well, I need to reroll it.
Okay.
It adds one dice. Adds one dice.
Yeah,
or
it
two?
adds a single die.
Oh.
I want something that looks like it's from the Wild West movie.
One success then.
That's what Liz wants.
Hold on,
So
I'm
Liz
just
is looking for a revolver. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep. Something that clicks
Oh, there we
satisfyingly
go. 2
a
successes.
lot. And that looks cool.
One success.
Okay. Yeah, as you guys look over the guns, they're fairly well maintained. Everything's oiled and clean. The slides work, and they're set and pretty well to go. Liz, the only thing you can't find anything that looks very Wild Westy. You do
All
find
right.
something, however, that looks kind of gangstery.
Ooh.
It's got a
Okay.
very, very short barrel on it, and a capacity of 6 rounds.
All right.
Give me an intelligence and firearms.
Okay. Oh, not investigation. Intelligence. One success.
So you pick this one up and you're like, oh, I've seen this on TV before. And you flip it over and it says 0.357.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm taking that. That looks cool.
Okay. As you pick that one up, you catch a wink from War Dancer and a little bit of a grin. Gail, what are you looking for?
The World of Darkness book doesn't explain things in a way I understand at all.
Ask me then.
Okay. It doesn't matter because I'm good at both of the things, but so stabby things use your stats and gun things don't use your stats?
No, they use both. So each weapon has a damage rating. So if you're using like a knife, you'll probably be rolling either strength in weaponry or dexterity in weaponry, depending on what merits you have. And then you add the damage of the weapon to that pool to try and acquire additional successes. Firearms works the same way. Dexterity in firearms plus whatever the damage of the weapon is to increase your dice pool. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Question.
Was that actually the question you were asking?
So is that you add that to the attack roll?
Right. So, like, say your dexterity is 3 and your firearms is 3, you'd be rolling a 6 plus whatever the damage of the weapon is. Which for a lot of handguns, it's anywhere from 1 to 3. So it'd be,
with the 1911, I'm rolling my dexterity of 4, my firearms of 2, plus my specialization of 1 in handguns, plus the damage of 3. So I'm rolling 10 dice. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then if they have armor or if they're close enough to you, you're taking subtractions for the armor or their defense or whatever cover they might be behind or things like that.
Okay.
New World of Darkness New World of Darkness combat is a lot more addition, but a lot less rolls.
Yes.
The tables are just laid out in a very confusing way.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So here's the question. Do they have any pointy things like a sword, rapier, that kind of thing that are They're size 2, but that are like concealable.
Sword cane would be considered concealable because it looks like a cane and you can just carry it around like a stick. Anything that's actually concealable, though, would probably have to be somewhere in the knife dagger range.
Okay. And very unlikely side question, do they have a fan-based weapon?
Like an actual fighting fan? I don't know if they have one in the book, but I can generate one of those for you at some point.
Because that would definitely be her weapon of choice.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's something that Summer would keep on hand.
Yeah, they're not going to have any. That's something that's a little too rare for them to just have right now. But if that's something you want to work Gale towards, we can look at weapons.
As a side note, Gale's interested in that, but
good to know.
I think in that case, people are going for guns. I'm going for cane.
Iron Fan is in the armory.
Is it? Okay. Yep. I'll check in and see what they have there.
Yeah, I thought I saw stats for one. I just wasn't.
It's a 0 damage bludgeoning implement, size 1, durability 3. +1 defense if used with the weaponry dodge merit.
Yep.
Okay. Well.
Question. So for the Makarov,
given they don't have something like that right now, I'll go for a sword cane.
Okay.
So for the Makarov, what I would just be looking for a simple 9mm.
No, it'll be. I'll get you stats on it. It's in the weapons catalog as a specific gun.
Yeah, because I was looking for it. I couldn't find it in the weapons catalog.
Brass knuckles are just a 1 damage weapon. It's easy for me.
Yes. Boom. Lark, what are you looking for?
Lark wants just a basic gun.
Okay. Semi-auto or revolver?
Semi-auto.
Okay. We will get you set up then. Give me a an intelligence and firearms roll then, Lark.
All
Lark doesn't want a crossbow.
Nope. One success.
Okay. So yeah, you just are looking down the line and you see something that says 9mm on it. So you say, I've seen that before. I remember bits about that, and you grab that one.
All right.
So that'll be your generic 9mm Luger.
All right, Jack. I think I found the stats for the thing. I think it was 9x18mm Soviet. It's labeled there, also known as 9mm Makarov.
It's in the
European military
RSA Makarov PM.
I just put it in the chat. Roll 20 for you.
Got it. Thank you.
Yep.
All
right. So everybody's got a gun or a weapon of some sort.
Yep.
Sweet.
And War Dancer kind of folds her arms, glances over at Adele from where she's standing. You're part of this motley crew too, right?
That has not been formalized yet.
You guys haven't motley pledged?
I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
We've been here for 2 days, 3 maybe?
Yes. We've been here for a very short time. I have been here a while longer. And we are getting them settled in certain things first.
Oh.
Well, Adele, I would jump on that if I were you.
She simply smiles and does a slight shift of her head. Okay. In that I was trying not to be so blunt about it and make friends first, asshole, kind of way.
She gives you a very kind of innocent summer court bitch kind of
yeah.
I can almost
clearly you can communicate these long involved sentences and
I can almost hear Adele click her teeth.
Like what he said.
Yeah.
What he said.
All right. So, you guys have today gotten 2 jobs, gotten
Yep.
paid ahead of time for both jobs, more or less. And the evening is beginning to have sunset approach. So, where are you headed next?
So after we leave, presumably.
Yep. Wherein we will say that War Dancer and Papa Sledge talk to anybody who's interested in being part of the summer court and set up a time to chit-chat about that in detail at a later date.
Yeah. Neo is kind of just like still keeping his reserves about it because he kind of wants to shop around the other courts to see which one really suits him the best.
There you go.
I have holstered the gun.
Yep. Now that you actually have a gun that actually fits in your holster.
Yes. And so we have a couple of different people we need to get a hold of. I imagine for the one who we have 3 locations for, we may want to split up and see if they are at any of those.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to need to get cell phone, like burner phones or something that we can use to contact one another in that case.
Yes, because you have a phone between the 6 of you.
No, we have 2 phones.
We have 2 phones between the 7 of us.
Right. Now, Adele has a phone as well. Yeah.
See, even the storytellers are
that.
including Adele in the motley.
I'm not...
I'm not including any of you in the motley yet, because you're not a
Yes,
motley.
because we're not a motley yet.
That was going
6
to
of
be
you
the
came
next.
out at the same
Before
time.
that, there was something else that we never put on our shopping list, but might be worth moving up. Formalizing our allegiance, given how many allegiances of... Given that we're shopping, it might be worth...
We've been making a lot of agreements.
What's the word?
People.
Motley,
Aaron's
I believe,
blanking on it. This
Motley?
Pledge.
no, United Credit, the thing that married people do.
Bank accounts? A joint bank
Joint-
account?
Joint account?
Covenant.
Essentially.
Consolidating.
That's what I gathered.
Consolidation.
Ceremony.
Argue?
Right. Argue. Thank you, Holly.
Get to
Joint
it. I don't-
accounts was the correct
I don't
answer.
have
Yeah.
that much down.
Not in a monetary sense, obviously, but probably
well-
worth at least talking about.
Yeah, Adele, what was that about a motley pledge?
That is... Motley is a term used to describe a social unit. You understand how pledges work within our society by now, I assume.
Yes.
Why don't you have one yet?
It almost takes her aback. I have not found the appropriate people.
I'm curious what Liz picks up from that, because
Go for it.
I'm kind of curious.
I kind
I'm
of
just
would also
curious.
like to know. Like,
Yeah.
just sort of like, that's
All right.
an
Anybody
interesting
who's trying to
statement.
figure that out, roll me wits and empathy.
I would like
All
to
right.
unpack that statement.
Yeah.
Adele, if you're trying to avoid anything being gleaned from that, give me a manipulation and subterfuge.
All right. Guess
One
who's spending the
success.
glamour on a point of subterfuge?
Oh, fuck you, I'm
Point of
spending a glamour on the
Oh.
Paris thing.
Dang it.
And a willpower on for your extra dice.
I mean, I only got 1 success. I don't know why you're overspending. But
0.
Okay,
yeah.
so I can spend a... Wait. feel like I can. Not for empathy. Never mind.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
I fucked it
fairies
up.
tend
I
to be a
fucked it up.
little less than empathetic.
Sorry,
Yeah,
wait.
I'll just spend the willpower.
Cute,
Or
and then I get.
I accidentally subtracted 2, so I've got 3 successes.
No successes.
1 success.
Motherfucker!
So nobody really is
I
got
got
to
3
determine.
successes.
Wow.
Nobody is able to
Look at
really
all those
determine
sevens.
much detail out of that, except for the individual who used to be an investigator and is very, very good at teasing little clues out of otherwise unobtrusive statements. With 2 more successes than you achieved,
Yes.
Adele, what does Nero glean out of that?
So, Adele, it seems like she's definitely nervous when the question is initially asked, like she didn't expect it at all. And when she says she hasn't found the right people yet, there is definitely a sense that she hasn't gone out and looked. And there is I would say there is a certain amount of anxiety and wariness around the idea of forming that kind of bond with people.
So Nero just sort of like while that back and forth happened with Liz and Adele, sort of like pop a cigarette out, hold the carton like with the cigarette extended out towards Adele.
She
and like just sort of like raise an eyebrow. And like with raise an eyebrow with the there's more symbolic to this than just a cigarette.
Yes. There's a moment where she almost said, but she takes one.
And then I'll hold out my lighter.
We need to get you smoking clothes, dear.
We'll see. So, what is entailed in a motley pledge, if you know?
I'm sure Adele does. I'm going to be honest. I don't.
Yeah, no.
He does not have that in his mind at this moment.
Mm-hmm. So there's 4 parts to any pledge. There's a task, a boon, a sanction, and a duration. The task is basically what you're supposed to do as part of this, which for your general motley pledge is an alliance. The task is to support and protect and assist each other. The boon is what sort of payout do you get for this, which for most motley pledges will be either what they call either a blessing or an adroitness boon, sometimes a combination of the both. The sanction is the penalty for breaking it. What happens to you if you betray your commitment or break your word. And then the duration is literally just how long does this pledge last for. So most, and there's numeric amounts of each of these things, and it just has to sum to a 0 at the end for a balanced pledge. So you guys would basically sort of negotiate an commitment of alliance amongst yourselves. You would all enter into it as a group together, and you would then, as long as you're a participant in it, you pay the cost, and you're still fulfilling the sanctions and the tasks. You'll have access to basically extra dots on your character sheet, which those will be established during the creation of the pledge. Most of them, duration-wise, they last for either a year and a day, or for some really established motleys, they'll do a lifetime duration and things like that. And there's a lot of different options as far as those go. The way the blessings and the boons and the adroitness work, basically an adroitness boon is giving you dots in a skill as long as the promise is intact. A blessing gives you dots in a merit, and the magnitude of the various merits depends on what you're looking at there. You can also have them for favors or glamour or things like that, but usually it's either skills or merits as far as motleys are concerned, because those are longer lasting and not actually paid out, in a sense, by other people.
Okay.
So, for instance, if you were going for your standard motley pledge, which is the stats for that are on page 189, I believe. They have your boons as like a lesser adroitness and a medial blessing. So you'd get 1 dot, all of you in the same skill, and then 2 dots of the same merit for everybody. And a lot of times those awards, or rewards, I should say, function as a reflection of sort of the general purpose of all of you guys. If you were, for instance, a group of performers, then it would make a lot of sense for like everybody to get, a dot in expression and a couple extra dots in, say, contacts or allies or something like that, depending on how you're doing your performing group. If you're more of like just a full-on summer-focused motley, you could get like a dot in firearms and then 2 dots in, like tokens or something, give you better defenses, or maybe everybody gets the fighting finesse merit or something like that. And you go weaponry or something. So usually there's a theme to the rewards that you get from a pledge.
Okay.
But that is where we are going to leave it for the evening, and we will discuss the mechanical specifics of your guys' potential pledge over the next week, and probably enact that at the beginning of Chapter 5.
All right. Well, then. We have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. Check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. Just check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. Can support us financially, you can do so there. Thank you to all of our patrons, especially our $25 tier supporters, Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame. Thank you all for your support. Thank you also to all of our Twitch supporters. Remember, we are Twitch affiliates now, so you can subscribe to our channel. And if you have Amazon Prime, you do get a free Twitch subscription that you can use to help support us there. Also remember that when we are currently at 200 some odd followers on Twitch. If we get to 500 followers, we can become Twitch partners, which lets us get a bigger chunk of change from the folks that support us financially on Twitch. So spread the word. Let us know about that. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe below. And we'd also like to thank the folks over at 411mania.com. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about 411mania.com.
Hi, folks. Are you annoyed with all the amount of typing that I do? Well, that's because of 411mania.com.
I sure am.
Well, golly, now that you mention it.
411, we're a pop culture site that covers everything that geeks, or really non-geeks even, could be interested in. We cover movies, television, comic books, video games, music, wrestling, mixed martial arts. I'm sure I missed something in there, but that's the majority of it. We have a review up for Defenders, which releases this on Friday on Netflix, the new Marvel series. We cover all the news that heading into SummerSlam this weekend. Anything relating to Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, even in the smallest way, we're covering. And all of Final Show Film stuff too. So check us out, 411mania.com, for all of your pop culture news.
Yep, we appreciate them, and we appreciate all of you watching. And as a notification for the folks watching on Twitch, tomorrow we will not be airing a Gran Terra Rebirth. Half of our cast is going to be away, so we will not be airing Gran Terra tomorrow. We will be back on Friday with more Afterlife guys, though. So Thank you for tuning in, and keep an eye on Twitter for things that are. Keep an eye on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Johnny Bates for updates as to what changes in our airing schedule as the week goes on, so that you can be kept updated as life happens, because life happens. So yeah, thanks for watching. I think that's pretty much it. So we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.